Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of F the Odds, brought to you by BGL Financial Freedom. So today I want to talk about purpose. I think a lot of times we get in a funk. We forget what our purpose is. We get in the rut of doing all kinds of things and doing things that other people want us to do, or we get stuck in jobs where we're just not happy, or kind of lose our sight, lose our purpose, lose what we thought we wanted to do in life. We all start out young and have all these dreams and goals and things we want to accomplish, and then life happens. The real world happens. We get pushed into places that we may not wanted to go, and we allowed it to happen. So, as you're going through, we just hit, the year's a little bit more than halfway over, and we got 5 months left, and I was just really kind of evaluating where I'm at business wise, where I'm at personally, where I'm at with all my charity stuff that I do and the boards that I sit on, and just reevaluating like what's most important to me. What are the things that I'm impacting in my community, my family, my business, and does it align with where I'm at and what my purpose is in my mind? If you're struggling with your purpose, there's a lot of people that they're not even sure what their purpose is, I think. Like they're just going through life. They think this is just what they have to do. If you're struggling with purpose, Simon Sinek has a good book out. Start with why and figure out what that is. What moves you, what things are here to help you grow as a person, accomplish the things in life that you want to do. I just reevaluated quite a bit of things. There's a lot of things that I've had on my mind for years, but I haven't implemented. I haven't implemented a lot of the things that my purpose is driving me to. I started speaking at high schools 3 years ago, and it's kind of evolved into I have a new speech that I've written. I'm working with a speech coach, that's helping me with networking and marketing and materials to send to principals to go out and actually turn that into a stream of income. And I'm learning through that all the things that I'm passionate about, we can start to monetize into income. I've always thought, I love my logos and I love my brands and things like that. And I'm like, I've always been really into inspirational videos and apparel and things like that. And those are things that I'm going to start growing. I'm going to start growing some apparel because I found that as I go and search for things that I want to buy as far as t-shirts and things like that, there's not a lot of it out there. At least that I've been able to find. Not that things that I liked. And there's some good shirts and good quotes, but the quality of the shirts are crap. Like they're box shirts that, people are built, they're not anything that I would wear. And so that's a passion of mine. I got to think that I'm not the only one out there that wants to have more higher quality things that motivate people. So that's on my list of things to work on. I'm in the process of writing a book that I've been talking about for years, and it goes along with my speaking. Those are all things that kind of go along with that stream of income. And I knew this whole time that I wanted to impact, high school kids, college kids, that age group, not necessarily students or not students, that's irrelevant, but just people in that age group that need guidance. They need mentorship. They need financial literacy. They need workforce development. They need to learn the things that they don't know. And with the internet, they know that generation knows more than my generation did at that age, but they also know a lot less. They know different skills. And we got to get them the skills that our generation knows so that they can really thrive in this world and really make our future better for everybody, because that's the future of our country. So when it comes to purpose, I don't think it's a secret why I'm in the industry that I'm in, because I like to help people. I don't want people to hurt financially. I don't want people to get to retirement age and be confused on how they're going to live the next 20 years of their life, if that's how long it is, or if they're going to be working, doing whatever job they can find until they die. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of people is because they failed to plan or they just failed knowledge. It wasn't that they didn't want to plan, they didn't really know what to do. And I feel like that's where the education comes in. Everything that I'm doing right now in my business world and my charity world is all stems around education. How can we help someone else? How can we help them be in a better situation tomorrow than they're in today? If that's financially, if that's just mental health, if it's trying to help them come up with a gym routine, something that's going to help them get off medication, like that could be anything. And really, at the end of the day, it just comes down to, for me, anyways, what am I trying to accomplish? I'm trying to live a healthy, clean lifestyle. I want to live to be an old man playing golf. I push my push cart. I've gotten to where I don't ride in a cart anymore when I play golf for the most part. Maybe a couple rounds a year do I take a cart. But for the most part, I'm pushing my push cart and I'm walking anywhere between 15 and 18,000 mile or 1,000 steps per round of golf. And it's a workout, playing golf and walking that much and staying focused on what you're trying to accomplish has been awesome. It's given me a lot of clarity in my business and really what's going on. One of the things, for being honest, one of the things I struggle with in my calendar, my schedule. I think we all get sidetracked. We all, a lot of us, we have ADHD and we see something shiny and we got to go figure out what that shiny thing is. And then takes us, 20 minutes to get back on track of what we were doing. But writing down my goals every single morning has been a game changer for me. Writing in my journal every morning of my gratitude journal has been amazing. Um, I write down what I'm stressed about every morning, and it seems like that stress just goes away. Once you get it out and you get it on paper, it goes away. So there's three things that I put in my journal every morning. The first one is, what am I stressed about? Get that out of your system. Second thing is, what I'm going to do today. Like, I will do this today. And the third thing is gratitude. What am I grateful for? So, what am I stressed about? What am I grateful for? And what am I going to hold myself accountable to do? And I don't care if it's a little thing or a big thing. But when you start stacking wins on paper every day, your purpose you start to kind of thrive in what you're doing. And it just changes the way that you run your day. So I have all these whiteboards. I have, I don't know, 4 whiteboards in my office, and they all have either goals or tracking numbers or, keys to successful weeks, rebuttals to things when people call me, or I call them. And I think it's just important to surround yourself with positivity. My sign says, go be awesome today. Like that's a reminder every time I walk in my office. It says, hey, be awesome. So I think it's really important. Like, what's your environment? Is your environment dictate your purpose? Like, does it dictate's probably not the right word, but does it, when somebody walks into your space, do they know what your purpose is? Because your space should tell the story of what you're trying to accomplish. It should tell the story of what you're about. And if it doesn't, then you need to change your space. Get your space ready to do what you need to be doing to help others or do what you want to do to help yourself. And I feel like that's such an important thing. You got to protect your area, protect your brain, protect your mind, protect your thoughts. So being intentional with everything, I talk about it all the time, but easier said than done, for all of us. I teach on it and I still am like, oh, gotta be intentional, gotta be intentional, gotta be intentional. Do it anyways. I just watched a David Goggins video he was on a stage with a little boy that was, I should say little boy, he was a high school student that was overweight, and he had lost a bunch of weight, and he went up there and he was in tears telling David Goggins that he lost weight because of David Goggins. He followed him, and he knew that if David Goggins could do it, he could do it. And he said, "Do you have any advice for me?" Is what the high school students asked David Goggins if he had any advice. And he goes, "I'm going to tell you what." He goes, "I want you to be my reason why I get up in the morning. When you get up and life's hard and you don't want to work out," he goes, "I want you to think of me and know that I'm going to work out because I don't want to let you down." I thought that was such a great thing because we all follow people, we all watch other people, we all feed off of other people's energy because it's impossible just to do everything yourself. You can't live in a bubble all by yourself. I mean, I was up at 3:50 this morning and I was at the gym by 4:10. I don't want to always be at the gym at 4:10. Like, let's just be honest. You know, but I'm at the gym by 4:30 every day. And it's not that I want to do that every day, but I know that that's the standard that I've set for myself for me to live the lifestyle that I want to live and be healthy and not be on medications and not be on heart medication and not do all these things. That I know that that's the discipline that I have to have for myself. The standard's the standard. So I also think about, I always take an accountability picture, and I used to say, oh, this is account, I was doing 75 hard at the beginning of the year, and it was an accountability picture of, hey, this is your picture for the day. And I was doing it because I had to. Now I'm doing it for myself because I'm like, Bren, you have to be accountable to yourself. I post every single day, every single morning in my story that I was at the gym at that time because I don't know. One, I know that I have to do it for me. At the end of the day, it's for me. But I don't know who else is watching. I don't know who else is being inspired just because I'm doing what I say I'm going to do. And maybe they're doing something to help someone else do what they are trying to accomplish too. Like this, it's a big full circle. Purpose is a Purpose and intentionality is a powerful thing. And if you live your life with purpose and intentionality, like we're going to do this today. And if you fail that day, so what? Get back up and do it again tomorrow. Do it again tomorrow. Do it again tomorrow. Get back up, get back up, get back up. You know, you're never, I always say the lessons in the loss, but there's no losses if you just keep going. Like you're just still in the middle of the game. You're in the middle of the game of life. Like you're not a loser, you're not this, you're not that. You're still in the journey. You're still in the process. And you're gonna have good days and bad days. Athletes have good shots and bad shots. They miss catches, they catch great passes. Like that's just part of life. It's no different in business. It's no different in anything that we do. So the faster you can get over the fear of failure, the fear of not being what you think others see of you, or you know, get that out of your head. Only worry about yourself. Worry about what you think of yourself and know that you're good enough to get back up and try it again. Yesterday's losses don't dictate tomorrow's wins. You're not in yesterday's jail. Your lessons, you learn from them and then you push through it. It's not a prison sentence unless you did something super bad, but you know, all of our tough times are making us and molding us for tomorrow. They're making us stronger. One of the things I like to talk about in my speech to the high school kids is the hardest thing that you've ever done is not the hardest thing that you're capable of. You know, I know that I do harder things now than I did when I was 16 for sure. And it might seem like, oh, well, it was just harder back then because I wasn't equipped and didn't have the knowledge and the skills to get through it. The first time that you ever have to do something new, of course it's hard. But after you've done it 30, 40, 50 times, It becomes easy and you don't even think twice about it, you know? I have to give myself testosterone shots once a week. Hate it. I still hate it. But guess what? The first time that I did it, I was terrified because I'm scared of needles. Pretty awesome that I have to do that every week, being scared of needles, but I'm less and less scared of needles the more I do it. I've been doing it for a few years now. So I've probably given myself over 150 shots, maybe somewhere in there. I don't know. I still don't like it, but you don't have to like it to be comfortable, you know? So, my purpose is to be healthy. Well, I know that I have to do that to be healthy. I know that I have to keep my hormone levels balanced for me to have enough energy to help others during the course of the day, to help myself, to help my family, to help everybody around me. So those are the sacrifices that we make. We get out of our own head and push through the pain of whatever that is mentally, and it might be physically, but mostly it's just mental. Most of the things that are holding us back are mental things, not physical things. So keep showing up. Keep showing up with a purpose. Figure out what your purpose is. If you're not crystal clear on your purpose, take some time to yourself. Go sit on a park bench. If you live in Arizona, don't do that right now. It's 116 degrees today. But go find a quiet place that you can just think without distractions and just really think about what motivates you, what moves you, and what your purpose is. Well, when people think of you, what do they think your purpose is? What do they think you're doing? I know that I'm on track with my purpose right now because, as most of you know, I'm a member of the Fiesta Bowl committee. I got my helmet back there, and I've been asked to be on multiple assistant chair and chair things for this year's games that we have, for hospitality stuff that we have. So that means that I know that my heart's right and I'm doing things for the right reasons, because the organization sees that and they want me to help run hospitality stuff. So that tells me that my purpose is in the right spot, to be a servant leader and to help others. So kind of figure out how you're going to gauge your purpose and go after the things that are most important to you. You know, I just did a big goal board over here on the wall. I have a business goal board and I have a personal goal board. And it's funny because the majority of the goal board they're interchangeable, because my business world and my personal world are the same. How I do anything is how I do everything. So they go hand in hand. I know that if I do this in my personal life, my business will do this. I know if I do this in my business life, I'm able to do this in my personal life. So, you know, they always say knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only power if you use the knowledge that you have. You have to take action. They say that the person that doesn't know how to read is no less advantaged than the person that knows how to read and won't. Neither one of them are reading, so what does it matter if they know how to or not? So think about that. Just because you know how to do something and you're not doing it doesn't mean that it's an advantage. You got to actually use it. So if you're not reading and you're not helping yourself get better, might as well be illiterate, because you're not using your reading skills. So use that. Help that out. Help yourself. Help yourself get better. Help yourself with your purpose. Figure out what that is, and I hope that you just live your life to the fullest. I hope that you achieve everything that you want in your life. And I just hope that you just live a life of complete gratitude and peace. That's all I got for you guys today. Go be great today.